Well, efforts to solve a decades-old mystery in Yakima County have taken a new turn as investigators work to identify a woman, until now known only as Parker Doe. Our Anissa Williams joins us live in the studio. Anissa, this is a fascinating story.
It is, and her remains were found in 1988, and now with new DNA technology and cold case investigators, officials are hoping that someone can help crack this case. Take a look. In February of 1988, a horseback rider found human remains near the Yakima River and Parker Dam. The woman, known only as Parker Doe, had likely been at the site for 4 to 10 months before her discovery. According to Yakima County Chief Deputy Coroner Marshall Slight, the woman was estimated to be between 30 and 40 years old, 4'11" to 5 feet tall, and possibly of Caucasian or Native American descent. The cause of death could not be determined.
Absent somebody coming forward, the chances of solving it are not very good. If somebody came forward with witness information, that would definitely be helpful. But based on the initial autopsy, they couldn't determine a cause of death, and it was presumed homicide.
Her skull was separated for facial reconstruction shortly after the discovery, and she was buried at West Hills Memorial Park in 1989. In October 2021, her remains were exhumed for DNA testing as investigators renewed efforts to identify her. Several missing women were ruled out after DNA from her remains was entered into the National CODIS database. Keller noted advances in DNA technology over the past 20 to 30 years have been huge in crime solving.
Since 2018, when the Golden State Killer was found using investigative genetic genealogy, which is the use of genealogy databases with a profile developed either from a missing person's remains, or unidentified person's remains, or from a suspect that had DNA left at a scene, and then they use genetic genealogy databases to help build family trees and try and identify where that person fits on the tree.
DNA is compared against public genealogy databases, but only a few, mainly Family Tree DNA and GEDmatch, allow law enforcement access, and users must opt in. Finding relatives can take months, Keller said. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, but these two databases usually yield distant cousin matches, even if they're as far back as 3rd to 5th great-grandparents.
The DNA Justice is just getting started, but the other two, they have a fair amount in there, but I mean, it would be much easier if we could use Ancestry.
This effort is being worked on by Keller, who, like others across Yakima County, work on a volunteer basis and is managing multiple cases at once.
If the public knows of somebody who went missing about that time, and there has been no DNA submitted that would be able to be compared, it would be much easier to compare and find out than it would be go through the investigative genetic genealogy route.
More than 3 decades later, Parker Doe remains unidentified. Investigators hope a relative or community tip could finally bring her name and her story back to light. John?
It's a fascinating story, Anissa. I know you've done a lot of work on this today, so thanks so much for sharing that with us. And earlier tonight we asked, have you thought of using a genealogy testing company yourself? That was in today's viewer poll. Well, here are the results. The majority of voters are saying no. 58% of the votes cast. Well, thank you to everyone who voted in today's poll, and you can read viewers' comments on our Facebook page. Keep an eye out for future polls here on KIMA Action News.